The following program is underwritten by the generous support of Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan Insurance. Since 1852, they have been assisting both businesses and individuals across the country secure the most comprehensive insurance products available. Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan are one of New York's largest independently owned insurance agencies. Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
Let me start the town board meeting tonight. It is a regular town board meeting, and it's December 2nd, 2019. The time is 7:01 p.m. And the first item on the agenda is say the pledge. So would you please all rise and join Councilman George Barone in saying the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and welcome. First item on our agenda is to move into the Board of Health. We have 3 things to deal with today, and 2 are public hearings, and then 1 is a resolution asking for an extension of time, which we'll get to if we get into the Board of Health. So is there a motion to move into the Queensbury Board of Health?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Barone.
Seconded.
Seconded by Councilperson Atherton. All those in favor of moving into the Queensbury Board of Health, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous. We're now in the Queensbury Board of Health. Item 1.1, please. Rose?
This is a public hearing and a sewage disposal variance application of Mike Weber.
All right, Mike Weber has a residence on 519 Route 149, and the applicant is asking for 4 variances, and they are as follows. 1, septic tank to be 3 foot 4 inches from the property line instead of the required 10-foot setback. Septic tank to be 5 foot 5 inches from the foundation instead of the required 10-foot setback. Pump chamber to be 2.5 feet from the property line instead of the required 10-foot setback. And well to be 80 foot from the absorption bed instead of the required 100-foot setback. However, the applicant is proposing to add a UV filter with a particulate sensor, and that will be installed on the existing water system. Okay, and so we have before us, please identify yourself.
Good evening. For your records, my name is Ethan Hall. I'm the principal with Brzezinski Hall Architecture. With me tonight is Mike Weber, the owner of the property and the resident of the property.
Okay, thank you for attending. Would you like to elaborate, describe your system to the board, please?
The existing system was installed prior to Mr. Weber purchasing the property, and it currently actually, the disposal field is on the adjoining property. He doesn't own the property that the disposal field itself is on. He's tried to make arrangements with the owner of that property to purchase a piece of it, and the guy's not interested in selling it. So he's being, to put himself into compliance and have his sewage disposal system on his own lot, this is really the only spot. The well drillers, when the well was installed, did no favors to anyone who would own this lot because they sunk the well dead center in the middle of the lot. So no matter where we put it, you can't make 100 feet. It's the lot's not big enough if you look at the incumbents of the 100-foot setback from the well. So we've picked the spot that we feel has the best chance of being away from the well as far as we can make it. It is going to require the installation of the effluent pump chamber. And because of the location of the house and the property line, we can't meet either setback from the foundation or the property line. So those things are kind of out of our control. We have to put the pump chamber and the tank in those locations. So 3 of the 4 that we need are kind of dictated by where the existing house is and where the existing property line. And the last one is just unfortunately, that's where the well is, and we can't really move that. So
Yeah, George and I were up for a site visit
Yeah.
today. All right, questions from the board to the applicant? The one thing I noticed in the notes was a septic tank shall be inspected annually.
So when you have a system like this that's got a UV filter on it, you want to make sure that it's operating properly, and you want to make sure that the tank is operating properly. So it's something that the tank itself doesn't have to be pumped every year, just needs to be inspected. Make sure that the baffles are working and make sure that the gas baffle isn't filled up with paper and things like that.
Okay. So, and you also, you put a lot of good things in your notes.
Yeah.
I'll give you credit.
Thank you.
Yeah, when septic tank is pumped, the septic tank baffles tees, house sewer connection, outlet shall be inspected. Baffle tees that have deteriorated, no longer perform as designed shall be replaced. Cracked or broken lines will be repaired or replaced. Lots of good stuff there.
That's Mackenzie. She does all that.
I have a question for legal counsel.
Okay.
So we have in the application a plan with the notes, 2 of which I've read to you.
Yeah.
Do we have to condition our approval, if it comes to that, which I predict it will, that they're to abide by their sewage disposal system notes as in the septic and site plan design notes? Do we have to add that, or is that just part of the application?
If it is something that the board thinks is important to be done each year to follow the notes, I think it should be incorporated in the resolution.
All right, can you work on that?
Sure,
then?
Sure, I can add that. Well, I'm gonna reference the notes, provided that yeah,
Right.
thank you. Just you show me exactly where it is, and I'll write it. Condition.
Here's the septic system note. The rest of it's standard, kind of unique to this, are these 2, but if we just say that,
Consistent with the sewage disposal
Yeah.
system notes as per the
okay?
application. Sure.
Is that an issue?
That was part of our submission, and that's part of, we've spoken with code enforcement, and that's part of their conditions as well. So
Okay, okay. Oh, sounds good. Any other questions before I allow the public to speak to this?
No.
Any member of the public wish to speak to this resolution for Mike Weber's application for sanitary sewage disposal variances? Seeing none, can you reiterate how we're going to amend the application to approve these variances? Are you ready, Bob, or am I going too fast?
Just one second.
Or want to go fast?
No, I think it was.
I'm just gonna add at the end of the last resolve, where you approve the application contingent upon the homeowner complying with the sewage disposal notes provided by the applicant as detailed on the site plan and septic design notes.
Okay,
That's good.
all right. The board all understand how we're amending the resolution? Then anybody would like to move this forward for approval? I'll introduce. introduced by Councilperson Menavere.
Second.
Close the public hearing. Seconded by Councilperson Switzer. A roll call vote on this, please, Rose.
Councilperson Atherton.
Yes.
Barone.
Yes.
Switzer.
Yes.
Stroud.
Yes.
And Medevere.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next, 1.2, Rose.
So public hearing on sewage disposal variance application of William and Kathy Boss.
All right. Kathy Bossy owns a residence at 53 Assembly Point Road and is applying for variances from Chapter 136 Town Code. And the 6 variances are as follows. Variance 1, septic tank to be 2 foot 9 inches from the property line instead of the required 10-foot setback. Variance 2, septic tank to be 2 foot 6 inches from the foundation instead of the required 10-foot setback. Variance 3, pump chamber to be 2 foot 7 inches from the property line instead of the required 10-foot setback. Pump chamber to be 2 foot from the foundation instead of the required 10-foot setback. Pump line to be 4 foot 10 inches from the property line instead of the 10-foot setback. And the 6th variance, edge of stone for pressure bed to be 4 foot instead of the required 10-foot setback. Again, this is a 53 Assembly Point Road. And we have a public hearing on this tonight. And George and I did a site visit today. So would you please introduce yourself, the applicant or the representatives of the applicant?
Hi, I am Mackenzie Pelton with Rosinski Hall Architecture. I did the field work out there for the site.
Okay,
I'm William Bosey, owner of 53 Assembly Point.
all right. Thank you. Is there anything you'd like to describe? Please describe the system.
So based on what was provided from the new owners was the location of the garage and the addition that they'll be putting forth in the future. So based on agreements with the previous owner, we have located the sewage disposal field in the corner next to the garage, which therefore moves over past the 10-foot setback line. And based on where the tanks are now, the tanks are too close to the property line. They're in between the house and the property line, closer down towards the bottom of the basement. So we're looking to put the pump chamber down there to pump up for the pressure bed.
Yeah, most of it is those chambers and adjacent to the building and the property lines because you gotta squeeze them. It's a narrow lot.
Yep.
So I see that, I get that. The one question that we had on the site visit is assuring that nobody is going to be parking because the new bed is being proposed next to the new garage.
The parking is currently in front of the garage between the road and the garage.
So is there going to be a fence or something there to prevent people from rolling over the bed? Because you know as well as I do, but the public may not.
Yep.
You can't, it's not recommended to park because of the compression of the compaction of the soils underneath. It's not a good idea to park on filtration beds.
So currently the fence line is right next to where the garage is going to be. It's called out on the sides. It follows the property line, and then it will be moved, accordingly with the bed.
But it will be replaced as shown on the plan?
Yep.
Okay, well, that answers that for me. Any questions from the board to the applicant before I open the public hearing?
Do we have the same issue here with the system notes for instance, it does say no vehicular traffic or parking shall be allowed on any portion of the absorption field of the sewage disposal system. Is this any different?
No, but why
So
not?
we should refer to it?
Why not add this like we did the other one? Same thing, same word.
Sure.
I still have a question about the garage though. So looking at the shed and, the size of the shed, the garage I would imagine is going to be larger than what that shed is there, right?
Yes,
Okay.
16 by 24,
Okay. Because,
16 feet in width.
so is the shed going to get closer to the property line to your north?
Can I show you something that
Sure.
I have?
No, I appreciate it. Yeah, without detail on a garage, it's hard to envision.
I understand.
Yeah.
This shows where the existing
Oh,
shed
okay,
is now.
that's the
and This is
shed.
where the garage would be.
Okay.
Would anyone else like to see one?
Well, is it
On here?
same thing, right?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
We took it based off of that. It just made it a little too
Oh, okay.
confusing.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a little bit more
So
obvious.
this is
Yeah.
in the shed, this is the shed in here.
Right.
So Kathy, with the notes here, that's all
Thank you.
okay?
Yep. Usually we do bollard posts. We call out for bollard posts, but because that fence was already there,
Yeah.
we actually had to move it to get the machine in. So they were just going to push it back
Yeah.
farther towards the road.
As long as the fence goes back. Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Any member of the public wish to speak for this application for variance? There is a member of the public, so if you'll sit down for a minute, and I'll probably call you back after the public hearing. Yes, sir, please come forward.
How you doing?
Good, thank you. Identify yourself for the record, please.
Yeah, my name is David Hartman. I'm the adjacent property at 51 Assembly Point, directly to the south. And I have no concerns of this at all. I mean, moving it makes sense to me. It's improving the property, and it's probably improving the current septic system. So I'm in favor of it.
Oh, thank you for coming forward and stating that.
Thank you.
It helps. It does. All right, Mr. Hartman, thank you. Anybody else like to speak to this variance application? Seeing none? Bob, would you just add?
I add same language from 1.1.
Okay.
I can read it again. And I'm gonna add it at the last resolve,
for the
where you
record?
do this third to last resolve, where you approve the, application with the variances. And the language that we add is, at the end of that resolve, contingent upon the homeowner complying with the sewage disposal system notes provided by the applicant as detailed on the site plan and septic design notes.
All right, everyone understand the amended resolution? Anybody like to move it forward for approval?
Close the public hearing.
Close the public hearing?
Then I'll move it.
And moved by Councilperson Ferone, seconded by
Seconded.
Councilperson Atherton. Roll call vote on this, please, Rose.
Councilperson Perone.
Yes.
Switzer. Yes. Stroud.
Yes.
Medevere.
I'm gonna abstain on this one.
And Atherton.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck. The next resolution's related. So 1.3, if you read that to the public, and then I'll explain it a little bit more.
So resolution granting Loretta Landry an extension of time for septic system replacement at 53 Assembly Point Road and reinstating escrow deposit.
All right. This is the septic system at 53 Assembly Point Road. Loretta Landry and are the Boseys here?
Both are here, yes.
Well, would Mr. Bosey, would you come to the table? Who is Loretta Landry?
She's the previous owner.
I'm Dan Mannix. I represent Laurel Land.
Oh,
She sold the
okay.
property to the Boseys. So
All right.
we've been working. It was inspected under our ownership.
Yeah.
We put on the deposit. We've been extending it to now put, hopefully,
Perfect.
shoveling
All right.
dirt and get this done.
So you're asking, so you put the $2,000 escrow, and you're the previous owner, so that you're the one taking care of it, and you're just asking for an extension to, because you can't get this completed within the time provided by Chapter 137, asking for an extension of time until November 30th.
No, April
2019.
30th.
To what?
April.
Oh, sorry, April 30th, 2020.
You said November.
Yeah, okay.
Just so that was the recommendation
Yeah,
from
all
Mr.
right,
Hatton to
So
go to that
April
date.
30th, 2020.
And there should be a correction. It should be 2020 both times in the last resolve instead of 2019. The first time is correct, April 30th, 2020. The second time, it still had 2019.
Okay. All right.
They both should be consistent. They're referring to the same date.
So do the members of the town board see where that second correction was made
Yes.
and the last resolve? So that they're both 2020 and April 30th. All right, does the board like to ask the applicant any questions? All right, anybody like to make a motion to grant this request?
So moved.
Moved by Councilperson Switzer,
Seconded.
seconded by Councilperson Atherton. Roll call vote on this, please.
Councilperson Switzer.
Yes.
Stroud.
Yes.
Medevere.
I will abstain.
Atherton.
Yes.
And Perone.
All right,
Thank you.
good luck, thank you. Okay, that's it for the Queensbury Board of Health. Somebody like to make a motion, move us out of the Queensbury Board of Health, please?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilperson Perone, seconded by Councilperson Atherton. All those in favor of moving out of the Queensbury Board of Health, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Tony, did you say aye too? All right, unanimous. We're out of the Board of Health. Well, I know him. All right, so next we have 8 resolutions before us, and at this time I will explain the 8 resolutions to the public, and if the public wish to speak to any of the 8 resolutions, I will give them the opportunity to do so. And if you have a town topic that's not related to the resolutions, I would give you the opportunity to talk to the town board about that matter after the resolutions get done, okay? But this part of the town board meeting will deal with the resolutions. All right, so 8 resolutions, 3.1, Rose.
It's a resolution authorizing acceptance of grant funds in connection with Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District Stormwater Improvement Program, Highway Garage, and Sunnyside North Drainage Project in establishing estimated revenues.
All right, Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District is a wonderful organization. We're very lucky to have this organization. They do a lot of stormwater improvements and educational activities and everything else. And so they had applied for a grant. And then they came to the town of Queensbury. There's a couple things you're doing, or we noticed that you need to have done, that this grant would apply to. One of them is your new building, your new garage for your highway trucks. And we understand that you have a stormwater program there, and we can help fund that. I said, wow, that's good. And then the other one is on Sunnyside North Road. We have been working with a landowner there of 60 Sunnyside North Road to improve the stormwater. It's an area that spills right into Sunnyside. And so what they're offering is, we've done this elsewhere, is to put permeable bricks there, pavers. So Grant will pay for most of that, and then we're going to help and do in-kind match of personnel time and equipment records to fulfill at least part, if not all, the $10,000 match for doing this. So this is approval of this. And so again, I'd like to thank Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District, Jim Liebram, Nick Roll, and others there. You do great work, and the town of Queensbury appreciates it. All right, 3.2.
Resolution authorizing hiring of Ryan Flansburgh as seasonal employee to work for Department of Parks and Recreation.
Okay, Director of Park and Recreation has requested that this town board, authorize the hiring of Ryan Flansburgh to work part-time in the department on a seasonal basis. And normally we wouldn't do this, but any appointment of town employees or relatives has to be announced to the public. Ryan Flansburgh is the son of Jamie Flansburgh, working supervisor in the Park and Rec Department. And he has to do everything, background checks and everything else that everybody else, alcohol, drug screening, everybody has to do that he has to do. But this town board has to approve it. 3.3.
Resolution authorizing agreement between the town of Queensbury and Adirondack Folk School.
All right, Adirondack Folk School and the Lake George Regional Chamber, CBB, had said that they're a little under budget for what they'd like to do at this year's Chris Kindle Mart. Now, the Adirondack Chris Kindle Mart was fantastic. It went over very well. It really kind of exploded last year. They're doing the same again. It starts this weekend this year. They were a little short. They had asked us for 10,000, and we didn't have that in the occupancy tax account. We only had about 7,200 of funds that haven't been identified as going someplace in the near future. And so they said 5,000 would do it. We can work with that, and if you're willing to give it to us. So this is to give 5,000 occupancy tax revenues to the Adirondack Folk School, because they're the co-partner here helping out, to help out making this Adirondack Chris Crindle Mart to be another huge, great event and bring people to the region. 3.4.
Resolution authorizing hiring of Florence McCauley as part-time cemetery clerk.
All right, we need a replacement. Our other cemetery clerk left for other things.
Pastures.
Other what?
Pastures.
And so we need somebody to replace her. And so this is about a 25-hour-a-week job. It currently pays $50 an hour. She's a relative of Donna Partridge, a cemetery commission member. So Donna Partridge isn't paid by us, but we appoint her. It still comes under the classification of an employee, and so she's the sister of Donna Partridge. And I know Florence McCauley myself, and I think she'd be very good in the position. So again, the cemetery superintendent kind of get her, put out fielding, put out notice, interview people. Florence McCauley seems to be the best person for the job. I agree. I hope the rest of the town board agrees. That's 3.4. 3.5.
Resolution approving the audit of bills warrant of December 3rd, 2019.
Okay, bills can't be paid until this board pays them. So this is a warrant run date of November 25th, 2019, and payment date of December 3rd of 2019, totaling $184,691.65. 3.6.
Resolution to amend 2019 budget.
All right, this is the every periodic shuffling of money where it wasn't needed to where it was needed as the world changes. 3.7.
Resolution setting public hearing on West Glens Falls Emergency Squad Inc.'s proposal to purchase ambulance and use tax-exempt financing for such purchase.
All right, because they are applying for tax-exempt financing, there has to be a certain time period between us announcing this to the public and then giving the public an opportunity to talk, and that time period fits in the following way. We have to wait until January 13th town board meeting to have this public hearing. But West Glens Falls Emergency Squad would like to purchase a new ambulance, replacing its 210 ambulance 710, and purchase a 2019 Chevy K3500 chassis ambulance with a Demers MXP 150 conversion box at a purchase price not to exceed $186,998. And they will be having a trade-in value of $10,000, bringing the price down to $176,998. So they're going to put $30,000 cash. The remaining will be in a 72-month term with Adirondack Trust Company, the remaining $146,998. They will not need any adjustments to the budget. They had budgeted for this anyway. So this is town board approval to set the public hearing because they need tax-exempt financing. 3.8.
Order setting public hearing concerning proposed Route 9 sanitary sewer district extension number 3.
All right, so Robert Gardens North would like to, of 220, Weeks Road, would like to become part of the sewer district. Route 9 sanitary sewer district extension number 3 is what this would be. We have a map plan and report. We have a secret document already made out. And again, the property owner will construct a new gravity sanitary sewer system throughout the existing Robert Garden North complex, apartment complex. The proposed sewer will replace the existing on-site wastewater system. multiple septic tanks and CP pits near the end of their service life. They will be disconnected from the buildings and will be properly abandoned and or disposed of. The 8-inch sewer network will connect to an 8-inch municipal gravity sewer main located along the north side of Weeks Road at 2 locations. All connections will be as directed by the town wastewater department. All such infrastructure shall be installed by the owner and maintained by the owner. Approximately 150 feet of the 8-inch sanitary sewer and 2 4-foot diameter precast manholes will be dedicated. Plans and details for this new construction are shown in the map plan and report. The cost of the installation of the sewer lateral shall be the responsibility of the sewer property owner. The legal, engineering, construction costs to form the sewer district are to be paid by the property owner and members of the sewer district. Other members of the sewer district will not be responsible for those costs. The improvements shall be constructed and installed in full accordance with the Town of Queensbury specifications, ordinances, and local laws, any state laws or regulations in accordance with the approved plans and specifications under competent engineering supervision. All right, so this is to set the public hearing on this, December 16th, so 2 weeks from tonight, right here, 7 p.m. We'll have a public hearing on the proposed Route 9 sanitary sewer district extension. But again, this resolution is only to set that public hearing. Those are the 8 resolutions before the board. Any member of the public wish to speak to any of the 8 resolutions before the town board tonight?
Speak up.
Seeing none? Any of the resolutions town board would like to speak to or request a roll call? Okay, then would anyone want to put together a motion forward approving resolutions 3.1 to 3.8?
I'll move it.
Moved by Councilperson Ferone,
Second.
seconded by Councilperson Atherton. Roll call vote on the 8 resolutions before the town board tonight. Please, Rose?
Councilperson Medavir.
Yes.
Atherton.
Yes.
Barone.
Yes.
Switzer. Yes. Stroud.
Yes. Any correspondence?
Yes, I have the supervisor's report for building and codes for the month of November on file in the town clerk's office.
Okay. Privilege of the floor. Any member of the public who wish to speak to the town board about any town topic, please indicate your interest in doing so.
Here's
All
a
right. Seeing none, we'll move on. Town board discussions. Jennifer, let's start with you. Anything?
Just a quick reminder to people that tomorrow is Giving Tuesday. Just an opportunity for folks to, while they're in the holiday spirit, maybe reaching out and making a donation to a local not-for-profit organization.
That's an excellent suggestion. There's also special Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
True.
Yeah, well, I think one of the things that enhances the quality of life, and we live in one of the greatest communities I've ever been in and known of, is the organizations and the nonprofits that help build this community. I mean, it's just wonderful. So I suggest that everybody donate. Keep this alive, keep this well, keep this healthy. Thank you, Jennifer. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, George?
No, for the purpose of moving this along, I don't have anything. I would just add to what you just said, though, that we have great organizations in the area, and I think the donation of the donations made by the community are very supportive as well. So,
Yeah.
you know, very giving community.
It is. We live in a great community. No doubt about it. All right, thank you, George. Catherine?
One thing, there's a Climate Smart Community Task Force meeting Wednesday morning at 10:30 in the supervisor's conference room. And one of the things that we will be discussing is Rich Paris, the director of the town's Transfer and Recycling Center, is going to come and answer a lot of questions. We've been trying to find out what actually goes on with recycling and composting and so forth. And so hopefully he'll be able to answer all our questions and discuss possible future programs for reducing waste. So that should be really interesting.
Yeah, that should be.
Yes. And I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
Well, that's
Yes.
nice. Thank you.
Good.
All right, Tony.
In the spirit of giving, my wife's kindness closet officially opens to the South Glens Falls community on Saturday morning, 9 o'clock. They're doing a little ribbon cutting, and I believe it'll be open 9 to noon. For anybody that needs anything, we spent every morning last week shopping at 6 o'clock in the morning at Walmart. And it's quite impressive. Garden Time put up the shed. It's not a shed, it's a building, and it's pretty cool. So if you're not doing anything, stop by on Saturday, 9 o'clock. Hopefully I'll be up. And as she said, anybody in South Glens Falls, no questions asked. There's cleaning supplies, diapers, wipes, toothpaste, deodorant, shampoo. It's chock full of stuff.
Well, that's good. That's
Very
great.
proud of her.
Yes. Well, Jamie, she won an award.
She won the grant last year.
Yeah.
It was $100,000, and she spent about 65 of it on the building.
Jamie is Tony's wife, my former student. You gotta take credit.
Yeah, that's right. And the remainder of the money has been put into buying items for the closet. The unfortunate thing is that the money had to be spent by yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's why we spent every morning, about 2 hours a morning, at Walmart. We would deplete the shelves of everything they had, then they'd restock and we'd do it again. So,
Well, good for you, Tony and Jamie.
Yep.
Thank you for doing
and
that.
Walmart was great. Both of them were tremendous. They helped out tremendously. Except for bagging. I did all the bagging.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff.
All right, anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Let me go through mine quick. Does everyone receive these Lake George Association updates? Very professionally done. Well, of course, the LGA is a very professional organization. And this in particular talks, about Randy Rath, and he's the project manager of many of these stormwater projects that the LGA provides funding for and engineering for and gets them accomplished. They talk about the Foster Brook stormwater damage and correcting that. They are talking about putting in porous concrete and testing that up near the in the village of Lake George, a part of the walkway they're going to replace with porous concrete, and let's try that out. They help replace the Northway pollution stormwater race conveyance system. And they're promoting de-icing and slowing Lake George pollution and all kinds of topics. It's a great organization. They do a lot of great things for Lake George, and I want to give them recognition. Also, it's interesting that I got a memo from the Department of Taxation and Finance, and just got it this afternoon, so that I haven't copied the town board on this yet. They're going to start becoming paperless. The Office of Real Property Tax Services, ORPS. And that's a good thing. So they're just starting to say, in the future, you're going to receive all these notifications electronically, and we're going to try and reduce paper usage, including the equalization rates, special franchise assessments, railroad ceilings, telecommunication ceilings, equalization rates, and class ratios, and so forth. So that's a good thing, right, Catherine?
Yes, it is.
That's not here. Another good thing, Steve Lovering. He is the director of our Queensbury Park and Recreation Department, and people rave about that department, talking about what a nice job they do. And, from time to time, I get accolades about almost every department in this town. People say what a fine job they're doing, and that's because we got fine leadership. And I'm not saying that because Connie's here. Yeah, although it's true, Connie, for you too as well. But in this case, this came from Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District. I spoke with them before. But they said, "Dear Steve Steve Levering, again, Director of Queensbury Parks and Recreation. On behalf of the Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District Board of Directors and its staff, it gives me great pleasure to notify you that you have been selected as the Soil and Water Conservation District Conservationist of the Year for 2019. This award is given annually by the district to recognize an individual or organization for outstanding work in the field of natural resources conservation. And as you know, much of the district's workload involves stream and lake restoration initiatives, stormwater remediation, erosion and sediment control projects, habitat improvement projects, and conservation awareness. Since we have worked together, it is apparent that you continually strive to reduce impacts to the environment. Request planning and permit assistance from our office. Ask for help from our office when needed and provide help when requested. Your interest and support in the district's programs and your efforts for protection of local natural resources serves as an excellent example of connecting people to the land and the conservation of the land. We would like to invite you to blah, blah. Okay, so it's a recognition to him. It's fantastic. I think it deserves, signed by Frank Thomas, chairman of the Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District Board. So thank you, Steve Levering. Thanks you, Steve Levering, and the Park and Recreation Department certainly deserve the recognition. All right, I also have Lou Buck. Thanks us for meeting with him. And you know, he's concerned about Gurney Lane speeding. Almost every day, mark me if I'm wrong, we get a complaint about speeding on some road in Queensbury. And like I said, probably all the roads at one time or another. But in this case, he's very concerned about Gurney Lane. It's twisty, it's winding, and what can we do about it? We'll look into our options there as we do whatever. We don't ignore it.
From another individual that we got on your mentioning that last time that about Gurney Lane as well.
Yeah. All right, and again is the Chris Kindle mark. I already gave that. I did that. Dog Control Officer Inspection Report completed November 12, 2019. This inspection relates to agricultural markets law and regulations, and it may be reviewed on the website. As the report indicated, the dog control officer services were rated satisfactory, which is good. It doesn't get any better than satisfactory. It's either satisfactory or unsatisfactory. Every year, our upstate New York gets a good rating. So I thought I'd mention that. And so it goes through all the things, the equipment, dogs are transported safely, yes, all the way down. So I'd like to thank the SPCA of Upstate New York. They are doing a wonderful job at the town, and they deserve the recognition as they got here. Okay, and last but not least, and I check marked the important things here. This is my supervisor's report to community and board. All right, I've been meeting on a regular basis with the CSEA officials and working to get a draft worked on, contract worked on. The contract's due December 31st. I doubt we'll have this contract in place by then, but we're working on it and it's moving forward. So we'll keep moving that forward. We did site visit on Dixon Road. We radar signage location. We found it. Now can we find it again with the snow banks? Huh? Well, here we are. Finally, we got the poles. We got the equipment. Everything is in order. We got the location. We met with one of the local residents that says this needs something here. Going. It'd be what, southbound on Dixon Road. So we met with John Kaharnan, and we all agreed this would be the best place for it. And Highway is going to do a search for what wires and such that might be located in that location. If we're all clear and we can shovel the sandbank out of the way, we'll get that in. Also, I went to the big night of thanks for Big Brothers Big Sisters, November 20th, Wednesday. Bill Moon and the people involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters, again, talk about great organizations. That's another one. We did a meet. There was an individual that lived on Foster Avenue, said that there's periodic flooding there. So we went over and took a look at that. And we had the town's engineers. We had Warren County Soil and Water there. We had, Catherine was there, Harrison Freer, Catherine's replacement was there. And so what we decided was that we got to make sure that we, and I got to talk to you about that. 5 years ago, we got the owner's permission to dig the trench out. And so we got an easement and everything else. And so it's time to dig the trench out again. But is that easement that we got from them like perpetual? Or was it just a 1 year thing and we got to do it again? So I knew there was something I wanted to talk to you about this morning besides what we talked about. All right. And so I've got a map and the owner, and I had George Hilton, our GPS guy, put all that together, okay?
Sure.
So that'll help you. George and I met with Pyramid and representatives from Pyramid, and we're going to have an announcement about that soon, huh? Wait.
Workshop.
Your workshop, okay. So if you want, curious as to what they're deciding, come to the workshop. I met with Rebecca Wood, a Great Escape's new president. We discussed, the future of the Great Escape, a lot of good things, and what we're going to work on together. All good. I met with Tony Hall, Lake George Mayor. Everyone knows that. And he wanted to discuss our 678 grant, which is the grant money that we got from the Department of State. It's actually C1000678. I just call it 678 for short. What is it meant to do? It's to develop an action plan for Lake George, and it's serious. And so we're making that approach, and we're going to go with it. And on the 13th, you'll see a resolution. We've been working with Chris Belton, the Warren County Planning Department, who's been doing the administrative work for us on this. Mm-hmm. And so he'll have some resolutions for us to consider to move this forward. They'll have that information before the 13th meeting.
13th of January?
No, December.
16.
16. Thank you for correcting me. 16. Also, I give a presentation on behalf of the Chapman Museum and on behalf of the National Waterways Program that's going around. It's currently in New York State. It's currently in Glens Falls. It's currently at the Chapman Museum. If you haven't seen the exhibit, you should. It's outstanding. But we were supposed to put our own little local efforts in, and he asked me if I would give a presentation on the impact of waterways on colonial warfare. Harrison was there. And Harrison stayed for the whole hour and 20 minutes. God bless you.
What a guy.
God bless you. Wasn't that bad, was it?
Oh, just in addition to that,
Yeah.
there's Kathy Bizzoni's exhibit down in the library, in the folk center
Oh,
of the
yeah, on the
library.
algae?
On the algae.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's terrific.
Thanks for bringing
Everybody
that
should
up.
go. It really is quite interesting about all the different, and it's the whole area of the folk center, and the pictures are wonderful, and it's all the different places on Lake George.
Well, and come to mind,
Makes you
Tony,
think.
yeah. Along that line, Tony and I had met with the Assembly Point Water Quality Committee. And, they would like us to improve some of our waterfront efforts. Septic inspections, tree clearing inventory, and part of shoreline site plans, educational septic flyer, and support for a grant application that we want to do, which we're supportive of all those efforts. And will continue to be. Okay, yesterday I did the 5-mile reindeer run. I did the Elks Lodge annual memorial ceremony, and then I did the AATV, the Adirondack Association of Towns and Villages, had their conference annual meeting up on the Lake George Marriott, and it was very nice. And so that was last night, and they went on today and had more of it today. I couldn't make it up. I had too many other things. And then we had a Stored Tech meeting today and getting back online, and we did site visits to Assembly Point and Route 149. We got a town board meeting. So that's it for me. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion made by Councilperson Atherton, seconded by Councilperson Switzer. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
The following program is underwritten by the generous support of Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan Insurance. Since 1852, they have been assisting both businesses and individuals across the country secure the most comprehensive insurance products available. Associates of Glens Falls and Loomis and Lipan are one of New York's largest independently owned insurance agencies. Public affairs programming on Look TV is underwritten by the generous support of Pinnell's Restaurant, classic Italian American food since 1922, and Stored Tech, technology solutions for computers, networks, and phone. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.
1922, Babe Ruth debuts with the Yankees. WGY signs on air. Exterminator wins the Saratoga Cup, and Pinnell's Restaurant opens its doors for the very first time. For 5 generations, Pinnell's has been preparing delicious Italian food, served in a comfortable, home-like setting where everyone is welcome. 90 years of authentic Italian recipes, 90 years of the freshest ingredients, and 90 years of the finest classic Italian dishes, all made daily by hand. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga dining tradition since 1922.
Firms deal only with prevention, the systems that block hackers and viruses. Stored Tech knows the root cause is actually good people doing bad things. So we offer a security training program which includes certifying all participants to show they understand the basics.
Technology solutions for computers, networks, and phones. Stored Tech, your technology, our passion.